Hey guys, today I wanted to go over my favorite strategy for acquiring rental property, the BRRRR method. So I'm gonna break it down letter by letter here. What does the BRRRR method stand for? How do you utilize this strategy? So we'll start with the B. That is buy. So of course you gotta buy an investment property, but the key way to make this strategy work is how you buy the property. So first, you gotta make sure you're buying the property cash. I know you may be thinking, I don't have cash sitting around to buy a rental property. Well, maybe you do have money in a 401k, line of credit, maybe there's someone you can partner with, or you just have the cold hard cash saved up. But the way to make this strategy work is you do have to buy a property cash without getting a mortgage on it. And the second aspect with buying is it needs to be a property that you gotta do a little bit of work to. Now, I'm not talking a full-on gut job renovation, but something that you can put a little sweat equity into so it can be worth more after you've fixed it up. So how do we figure out what to buy a property for? So let's say you've identified a property that you think could be a good potential investment property. And after doing some work to it, you know this property will most likely be worth, or it'll sell for, about $100,000. So that would be our ARV, our after repair value. We bought the property, we put some sweat equity into it, probably some actual money as well for materials, maybe a little bit of labor, or you're doing labor yourself. And that's what we know it's gonna be worth after we've done work to it. So how much do we need to buy this property for this method to work? Well, that's where we're gonna come up with our purchase price. Just put PP here for purchase price. That is gonna be your ARV times 0.7 minus repairs and HC for holding costs. So the purchase price, what do you need to buy this property for, is gonna be your ARV times 0.7 minus repairs and holding costs, which holding costs would be things such as taxes and insurance, utility bills, while you have the property. So in this scenario, our after repair value times 0.7 is gonna be $70,000. And let's assume repairs and holding costs are gonna be, let's say $20,000. So it needs, new cabinets, kitchen, some flooring, paint, things like that. So that means we're gonna need to purchase this property for $50,000 for it to be a good BRRRR property. So regardless of what you negotiate out, how that all ends up, you know that in order for this property to work for this method, I gotta meet the criteria of getting it for $50,000. All right, so we figured out how much we need to buy the property for, $50,000. We figured out what the rehab costs are, $20,000. Now we need to do the third step, that is rent. The property's all ready to go. You've got it looking beautiful, ready for someone to live in it. Now let's place a tenant in the property so that we can show that this is a cash producing rental property, or an income producing rental property, I should say. And we're gonna assume the rent for this is $1,000 a month. So this can help us transition into the fourth step, which is refinance. Just put refi up there. So this is what makes this strategy such a powerful one. So you bought it cash, you did the renovations cash, now you placed a tenant in it to show that this is an income producing property. Now you're gonna go to a mortgage lender and get a loan on the property. This is how you get your money back out. Again, this is the power of this repeatable process. So this is where we said that after repair value of $100,000, this is where you're gonna need the refinance to take place. An appraiser's gonna come out to the property, and let's say they come out and they say, you know what, bank, we do think that this property is worth $100,000. You can give Cameron a mortgage on it. So what they would do, this is why I use the 70%, because most lenders will lend you up to 70 to 80% loan to value. So that means that they are gonna let you pull cash out of the property and you're gonna get a mortgage on it. You're literally gonna get cash at the closing table because you're owning this property free and clear, and now you go to closing, hey, I want this mortgage on the property. Okay, well, they're a more conservative bank, so they're not gonna lend you a whole lot of money. We're gonna give you 70%. So 70% of that $100,000 appraisal is $70,000. This is the part I know a lot of people are, why would they do this? It's hard to believe. It's the same as if you go and get a mortgage on a property. They wanna lend you the money because they want the interest payments, but you want the money back out so you can go and do this again, because if we get this $70,000 back, we can go and do this process again, 50 here, 20 here. And this is what makes this strategy also really cool if you want to do this, is let's say that you made the after repair values even more than this. Let's say the property was worth $110,000 after. They're still gonna do the 70%. So the 70% on 110,000 is gonna be more than 100, or sorry, it's gonna be more than the 70,000. So you, in this 100,000, you only got 70,000 back, and the 110,000, you are going to get more than what you put into this property. So that can help you either just keep the profits, or you can use it to go and buy maybe a bigger property or something that needs a little more work. And wrapping all this up, again, one of the most powerful things about this, you do the refinance, you've got this money, maybe even you got a little more, if it appraised for more than what you thought, you do the final step, repeat. You repeat the process. So this is what's really cool about it is, if you're getting a traditional way of getting an investment property, say you're just putting 20% down, okay, well now I'm out of money, now I gotta wait until I get another 20%. It's a much slower process. If you can find a property that you buy it and it needs a little bit of rehab work so that you can bring the value back up from what you got it from, you can get your cash back out and you can continue to repeat this process. This is why I love it so much. This is why this is the most you'll see me smile in one of these videos. This is the best way for the average person to start accumulating a rental portfolio. And I know you may be thinking, well, yeah, the average person doesn't have $70,000 laying around. Partner with someone. Maybe you have a line of credit, depending on your comfortability with leverage. And that's a final thing I wanted to touch on is the leverage. Depending on whether they'll do the 70 or 80%, know what your risk tolerance is with leverage. If they're gonna give, just because they'll give you the money, make sure you feel comfortable with getting yourself in that position where you're taking out 10, 15 mortgages and they're all leveraged at 80% or more. If that's something you're okay with, that's up to you. You just need to know your risk tolerance for how much money you want to be taking out on all these properties. But if you're like myself, 30% equity in each property makes me feel pretty comfortable. But yeah, I really hope this was helpful for you guys. Again, the BRRRR method, buy, rehab, rent, refinance, repeat, super easy. Anyone can do it. If you have any questions, feel free to drop me a message in the comments below or reach out directly. We're always happy to help you get started building your rental property portfolio. We'll talk to you soon.